the reason, for the reason I think I am never upset, for the reason, for the reason I think there are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purpose of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. I am never upset, for the reason, for the reason I think I am never upset, for the reason, for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think. We always make a reason to get upset, don't we? And the reason's always incorrect because there's never a reason to get upset. But we're going to learn that as we keep studying. So let's go take a look at this lesson 5 in the Foundation for Inner Peace version this year as we go through the course. A Course in Miracles, lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. And I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness from the Ozarks. Here on Sunday, January the 5th of 2025. I am never upset for the reason I think. This idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever term seems accurate to you. The upset may seem to be fear, worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different. Well, this is not true. However, until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for the exercises for the day. Applying the same idea to each of them separately is the first step in ultimately recognizing they are all the same. When using the idea for today, for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you ascribe to it. For example, I am not angry at blank for the reason I think. Or I'm not afraid of blank for the reason I think. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources of upset in which you believe and forms of upset which you think result. Okay, so he's saying that during the day, if you have something come up and you feel a little bit anxious about it or upset or any kind of negative feeling, you can specify it and say, but I'm never upset at this and the cause of it, as you see it, for the reason I think, and help dismiss it that way. But he says, but he still wants us to take our periods of mind searching and look for areas that we might be upset or in some negative feeling. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources of upset in which you believe and forms of upset which you think result. In these exercises, more than in the preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate and to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects than to others. It might help to precede the exercises with the statement, "There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind." There are no small upsets. So just the least little thing that you might not have even noticed because you thought it was just a mild irritation or something, let that be something that you bring into the light and tell yourself, this small irritation about whatever, and you can say, they're equally disturbing to my peace of mind. I'm not upset at whatever for the reason I think. And then remind yourself, there are no small upsets. They're all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. Then examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing so. You may also find yourself less willing to apply today's idea to some perceived sources of upset than to others. If this occurs, think first of this: I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. Again on that, I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. Then search your mind for no more than a minute or so, and try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you, regardless of the relative importance you may give them. Apply the idea for today to each of them, using the name of both the source of the upset as you perceive it and the feeling as you experience it. Further examples are, I am not worried about, and then specify what you might be worried about, for the reason I think. Or, I am not depressed about blank for the reason I think. 3 or 4 times during the day is enough. And we'll do one of those periods when we sing and when we close here in a few minutes. Okay? All right, well, let's take a look at our text reading for today. And we're ready for, in chapter 1, the meaning of miracles, section Roman numeral 2, Revelation, Time, and Miracles. Revelation, Time, and Miracles. Revelation induces complete but temporary suspension of doubt and fear. It reflects the original form of communication between God and His creations, involving the extremely personal sense of creation, sometimes sought in physical relationships. Physical closeness cannot achieve it. Miracles, however, are genuinely interpersonal and result in true closeness to others. Interpersonal, let me give you, he uses that a couple times in this reading, and out of the Oxford Language Dictionary, interpersonal, relating to relationships or communication between people. So let's make sure you understand the word. Miracles, however, are genuinely interpersonal and result in true closeness to others. Revelation unites you directly with God. Miracles unite you directly with your brother. Neither emanates from consciousness, but both are experienced there. Consciousness is the state that induces action, though it does not inspire it. You are free to believe what you choose, and what you do attests to what you believe. Paragraph 2. Revelation is intensely personal and cannot be meaningfully translated. That is why any attempt to describe it in words is impossible. Revelation induces only experience. Miracles, on the other hand, induce action. They are more useful now because of their interpersonal nature, their ability to relate to others and to communicate with others. So miracles, on the other hand, induce action. They are more useful than revelation now because of their interpersonal nature. In this phase of learning, working miracles is important because freedom from fear cannot be thrust upon you. Revelation is literally unspeakable because it is an experience of unspeakable love. Paragraph 3, awe should be reserved for revelation, to which it is perfectly and correctly applicable. Okay, what's the definition of awe? Awe, a feeling of reverential respect mixed with wonder. And that's also out of the Oxford Language Dictionary. It said fear and wonder, but you know what? The more you understand the course, you'll realize he doesn't want you to ever experience fear. And if you do, it's one of those things that we want to tell ourselves, I'm never afraid for the reason I think. I'm never afraid of, and of course specify what it was you're afraid of too in your mind searching today. Or use it during the day if it comes up during the day. And that can be on top of the 4 mind searching periods. You can use it as needed, okay? So that you can kind of recover from your fall into fear. Awe should be reserved for revelation, to which it is perfectly and correctly applicable. It is not appropriate for miracles because a state of awe is worshipful, implying that one of a lesser order stands before his Creator. You are a perfect creation and should experience awe only in the presence of the Creator of perfection. The miracle is therefore a sign of love among equals. Equals should not be in awe of one another, because awe implies inequality. It is therefore an inappropriate reaction to me, says Jesus. Awe is inappropriate, is a reaction to me. He says, an elder brother, who he is, an elder brother is entitled to respect for his greater experience and obedience for his greater wisdom. He is also entitled to love because he is a brother, which that's everybody. He is also entitled to love because he is a brother, and to devotion if he is devoted. It is only my devotion that entitles me to yours. There is nothing about me that you cannot attain. Catch that. There is nothing about Jesus that you cannot attain. The works that I do, you shall do, and greater, because I go to the Father. Just something that popped in my mind that Jesus said, I have nothing that does not come from God. The difference between us now is that I have nothing else. This leaves me in a state which is only potential in you. Number 4, no man cometh unto the Father but by me. Does not mean that I am in any way separate or different from you except in time. And time does not really exist. And that's a quote from Jesus recorded in John chapter 14, verse 6. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Does not mean that I am in any way separate or different from you except in time. And time does not really exist. This statement is more meaningful in terms of a vertical rather than a horizontal axis. You stand below me and I stand below God. In the process of, in quotes, rising up, I am higher because without me the distance between God and man would be too great for you to encompass. I bridge the distance as an elder brother to you on the one hand, and as a son of God on the other. My devotion to my brothers has placed me in charge of the sonship, which I render complete because I share it. This may appear to contradict the statement, I and my Father are one. But there are 2 parts to the statement in recognition that the Father is greater. Okay, and that's also a quote Jesus made, recorded in John chapter 10 and verse 30. I and my Father are one. But there are two parts to the statement in recognition that the Father is greater. Number 5, revelations are indirectly inspired by me because I am close to the Holy Spirit and alert to the revelation readiness of my brothers. I can thus bring down to them more than they can draw down to themselves. The Holy Spirit mediates higher to lower communication, keeping the direct channel from God to you open for revelation. Revelation is not reciprocal. It proceeds from God to you, but not from you to God. God doesn't need revelation. He's always complete knowing. But we can use some knowing, can't we? Isn't that nice to know, though, that the Holy Spirit is alert to the revelation readiness of all of my brothers? That'd be us. So when you're ready, when the teacher is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, that's because the Holy Spirit knows when there needs to be a new vision, a new awakening, a new understanding. You're ready for a new level, and so revelation comes. Okay, paragraph 6. The miracle minimizes the need for time. In the longitudinal or horizontal plane, the recognition of the equality of the members of the sonship appears to involve almost endless time. However, the miracle entails a sudden shift from horizontal to vertical perception. This introduces an interval from which the giver and receiver both emerge farther along in time than they would otherwise have been. That's what a miracle does. It speeds things along. The miracle thus has the unique property of abolishing time, to the extent that it renders the intervals of time it spans unnecessary. Again on that sentence 5. The miracle thus has the unique property of abolishing time to the extent that it renders the interval of time it spans unnecessary. There is no relationship between the time a miracle takes and the time it covers. The miracle substitutes for learning that might have taken thousands of years. It does so by the underlying recognition of perfect equality of giver and receiver on which the miracle rests. The miracle shortens time by collapsing it, thus eliminating certain intervals within it. It does this, however, within the larger temporal sequence. And we'll learn more about all that as we go along. Today, we're to be busy keeping our mind and using the idea throughout the day as needed. I'm never upset for the reason I think. Okay, but before we go look at that and sing our closing song and have a little short meditation, let's see what's going on around the world today. I like to kind of let you be aware of some, different spiritual traditions, holidays. And today is the birthday of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, who's a Sikh, and he's the last of the 10 Sikhs. The 10 Sikh gurus. He was born on this day in 1666 in Bihar, India. He became the 10th guru at his father's martyrdom when he was only 9 years old. And he said that from this time on, after his death, that the holy book of the Sikhs, which I forget the name of, but I think it's called the Guru. Anyway, the Sikh holy book became the good book, the big book, the Bible for the Sikhs. Okay. And what else is going on today? I found in holiday and observances that George Washington Carver Day. He was born on this day. No, he died on this day. He was born in July 12th, 1864, and died on January the 5th of 1943. And he was born just over here a few miles, about the way the crow flies, about about, how far would that be? Maybe probably about 10 miles. Over in Diamond. It used to be called Diamond Grove when he was born as a slave. And speaking of crows, today's bird day, and the American crow, the Corvus brachyrincos, Bachyrincos, that's the genus and species. I found something really interesting about it. A crow, when it gets a lot of mites on it, will land on an anthill and lift its wings and let the ants crawl up and eat all its mites. Isn't that cool? Talk about working together as a team. You know, we're all connected. And then out of edible landscaping, I've got another Peterson Pawpaw I want to tell you about. And let's see, what is it? A Potomac Pawpaw. Is that correct? Yeah. The Potomac Pawpaw and Asamina triloba. The overall fruit quality on this variety is impressive. A key feature of Potomac Pawpaw is its extreme fleshiness. 4% seeds by weight. The flavor is sweet and rich. The texture is firm, melting, and smooth. Flesh color is medium yellow and fruit size is large, typically 12 ounces or more. Okay, and let's see, what else? Oh, something about George Washington Carver. I got this quote. I like this. George Washington Carver said, "I love to think of nature as an unlimited broadcasting station through which God speaks to us every hour if we will tune in." Isn't that kind of neat? That's a nice quote. Are you tuning in to, that's what we're doing with Course in Miracles. It's the most natural thing in all the world, the way that he describes Course in Miracles, even though in the beginning it seems like it's completely opposite to the way we think. Okay, and I've got another, I found another near-death experience that I'd like to encourage you to listen to. Virginia Drake's near-death experience on YouTube. It's 32 minutes and 8 seconds. And the title of it is, "This ND Will Leave You Speechless. Teacher Dies of Heart Attack and Meets Jesus in Heaven." I think she had such a good attitude of wanting to share with others, to be a teacher. She was an elementary education teacher for a long time, but now she's a teacher. Matter of fact, she has a really good website. I haven't been to it, but she has a website, may I just say that. And it's called mydivineinheritance.org. I expect it to be a good one just because I enjoyed listening to her. And she seems like a lot of the things we'll be learning, she learned them in her near-death experience. Okay, so we know to do our practice period 2 or 3 times today. Why don't we do one of them right now? I'm never upset for the reason I think. And you're supposed to start off by saying, "I'm not worried about," or whatever the upset is. "I'm not upset about blank," and fill in the blank yourself. I'll just hum it. When we get to the blank, I'll hum it. And then you can think of it, and then I'll say, "For the reason I think," and then we'll do that for a few times, and you can pick a few in your mind. So let this be a little mind searching, and we'll start with the little reminders. He says, "I'm never upset for the reason I think. There are no small upsets. They're all equally disturbing to my peace of mind." And then if you have some that you're giving more weight and think they're not as important, just tell yourself, "I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purpose of these exercises, then, I will regard them all the same, all as the same." I am never upset for the reason I think. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the exercises then. I will regard them all as the same. I am not worried about blank for the reason I think. And now you do it now. I am never upset for the reason. What is the reason? For the reason I think. Okay, now I'm gonna quit singing as much. I am never upset for the reason. For the reason I think. I am never upset about, you fill in the blank, for the reason I think. I am never afraid for the reason I think. I am never for the reason I think. I am never for the reason I think. Like for instance, I am never discouraged about that theft for the reason I think. I'm going to do a couple more for you. I am for the reason I think. I am for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think. Okay, and our word for peace is from the Alsatian language. My grandpa said that his family, his grandparents, came from Alsace-Lorraine, right there between France and Germany, right there by Switzerland. And the word for peace from there is Feiede. So Feiede be with you. Peace be with you. Feiede. I am never upset for the reason I think. Feiede.